Okaleczy pan pokład.
Ja to robię.
Vous montrez quelque chose de ce que vous avez composé? Sur le violon?
J'ai le temps.
Gdyby pan wpadł do wody, to pan jednak popłynął.
Niech pan spróbuje.
Et maintenant?
Welcome back to another session on cinema. Today, we shall try and understand one of the less popular, yet aesthetically rich cinema. We shall study cinema of Poland.
Niech pan spróbuje.
Et maintenant?
To begin with, first phase of cinema happened at a time when Poland had already disappeared as a state, and early films were screened before it regained its independence in 1918. Ever since then, under a variety of Polish regime and then under domination of Germany and the Soviet Union from the period of World War II, films have contributed to appear as they do today in a more relaxed, strongly commercial atmosphere.
C'est vraiment sympa de m'héberger pour ce soir. Hein?
Non, attends, c'est normal, hein. Les problèmes d'appart, ça arrive à tout le monde. Hein.
Oui, bien sûr.
Since its modest beginning in 1902, Poland's film industry has been able to produce a diverse quantity of films. Several representatives of Polish cinema have enjoyed international fame. Some are now regarded as masters of cinema. Almost every film history textbook contains a chapter discussing the emergence and importance of the Polish school phenomena. The names of Poland's best-known directors such as Andrzej Wajda, Roman Polanski and Krzysztof Kieślowski are mentioned among the most important directors of the world. But of course, things have not been easy for the Polish film industry, neither in the past nor today. In an age of globalization with world cinema heavily dominated by Hollywood, most film buffs will agree that Polish cinema is definitely of interest and worthy of study. Changing political situations typically defined the development of local cinema. Polish film thus reflected the history of a land in which national insurrection resulted in military defeat, the presence of occupying forces and the suppression of Polish culture. Given the uneasy political background, Polish filmmakers were often expected to perform various educational and nation-building duties. At the beginning of the 20th century, they performed an educational role for a number of people deprived of their state and culture. They produced a series of patriotic films showing struggles against Poland's mighty neighbours and efforts to preserve Polish culture and language while also producing entertainment films. The filmmakers saw themselves primarily as guardians of national culture. During Poland's communist period, filmmakers were playing multiple roles within the nationalized film industry as educators, entertainers, social activists, and political leaders. Their films often performed the role of safety valves in tightly controlled political reality. The year 1989 marked the end of the communist era and the transition to democracy. The abolition of communist censorship, the transformation of film units into independent studios, the advent of international co-production, and the gradual Americanization of the local market greatly changed the cinema industry in Poland. The process of the transition from communism to democracy altered the relationship between filmmakers and their audiences. The beginning of the 1990s proved to be difficult for some of them, as well as for emerging young filmmakers, due to a deep economic crisis in the local film industry. In recent years, Polish filmmakers have succeeded in winning back their audience with popular adaptation of the national literary narratives. Now let us try and also see what happened to the production and distribution of film post-democracy. The film industry of People's Poland was nationalized in 1945. The National Board of Polish Films, Film Polski, headed initially by filmmaker Alexandre Ford, became the sole organization producing, distributing and exhibiting films in Poland. The founding of the Lodz Film School in 1948 contributed later to the most vibrant era in the history of Polish cinema, known as Polish School. Young graduates of Lodz Film School at that time challenged the aesthetics of the socialist realist period. These filmmakers made films that dealt with the war, the occupation, the unrepresented fate of Home Army Armia Kharkova, and played an important role in the political melting after October 1956. Several films made during this period became internationally known, including Andre Vajda's war trilogy A Generation, Canal and Ashes and Diamonds, Roman Polanski's Knife in the Water and Andrzej Munch's The Passenger.
Gdyby pan wpadł do wody, to by pan jednak popłynął.
Niech pan spróbuje.
Andrzej, krokodyl bańki puszcza.
Ja żartowałem.
Andrzej, zabierz płetwy, dobrze?
Poland gave some of the most gifted filmmakers to the world. Among them, Roman Polanski is one of the most prominent names. It would be inappropriate to study Polish films without understanding some of the Polanski's work. Let us try and know a little more about Roman Polanski. In 1962, Roman Polanski made his debut with the film Knife in the Water, which received nomination for an Academy Award in the Best Foreign Film category in 1964. Most of us might know the story of Polanski's Oscar-winning film The Pianist. But let me share with you what inspired Polanski to make this film. As a child in Poland, Roman Polanski hid from the Nazis after escaping the Krakow ghetto through a hole in the barbed wire fence. Over the years since the war, he was looking for a story that would convey some of the things he experienced. Then he came across an autobiography of Ladislaw Spilman, a Polish Jew who survived the Warsaw Ghetto. Based on this bestseller, Roman Polanski made Holocaust epic Pianista, which received international acclaim and 3 Academy Awards, including the Best Director. Another towering filmmaker is Kieślowski. Often hailed as the most important contemporary European director, his career set the precedent for an emerging breed of international European author. Krzysztof Kieślowski was born in Warsaw, Poland on June 27, 1941. His formative years spent during the rules of Hitler and Stalin were nomadic. His father suffered from tuberculosis and the family travelled from one sanatorium to another. At the age of 16, Kieślowski entered Fireman's Training College. His stay was short-lived, instilling in him a lifelong loathing of uniform and discipline. To avoid military service, he returned to school, later attending the Warsaw College for Theatre Technicians. In 1965, after several previous rejections, he was finally accepted into Lord's Film School and made his first short feature, Tramvaj, the following year. He continued to make documentaries and short films till 1981.
Odizolowanie bohaterów dekalogu od polityki na pewno miało związek ze stanem wojennym, z całą pewnością.
Tak.
To na pewno, to znaczy to w takiej szerszej perspektywie, że w ogóle wyeliminowaliśmy politykę jako temat, jako zajęcie jakiekolwiek, jako w ogóle jako rzecz, która jest istotna. O, tak bym to powiedział.
However, the 1981 martial law brought the nation's film industry to its knees. Film stock was in short supply and equipment previously supplied by state-financed production houses was no longer made available. Under such impossible conditions, Kieślowski made attempt to undertake several projects with little success. Even after martial law was suspended in 1982, the country's financial outlook was grim. And apart from the 1984 feature Bez Konka, he did not work again for many years. Finally, in 1988, Kieślowski was given the green light to begin filming The Decalogue, a 10-part mini-series commissioned for Polish television. The first film, Blue, a meditation on liberty, won several Caesar Awards.
Attends, peut-être plus léger, sans les percussions.
France's equivalent of the Oscars, and also netted a handful of Golden Globe nominations, including a Best Actress nomination.
I'm so amazed. This is a dream. It must be a French dream, I think. Bye.
White, an essay on equality, which garnered Kieślowski's the Silver Bear Award for direction at the Berlin International Film Festival, followed later that the same year. However, it was the final film in the trilogy, the 1994's Red, which brought Kieślowski his greatest acclaim. An exploration of fraternities featuring double life of Veronique star Irene Jacob, it was a tremendous commercial and critical favorite, collecting nominations from the Scissors and Golden Globes. Kieślowski's even earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Director. At the peak of his powers, the filmmaker chose to walk away from the limelight, and upon the completion of Red, he announced his retirement from movies. Reportedly, he was considering a return to the cinema with a new trilogy based around the themes of heaven, hell and purgatory.
Mam Boga, który starczy chyba tylko dla mnie.
Prywatny.
Tak.
Niech pan poprosi dziś swojego Boga o rozgrzeszenie.
Decalogue, loosely inspired by the 10 Commandments of the Bible, is a set of 10 short films that examine the decline of morality in Poland. They all take place in the same high-rise building that is shown in different seasons. The tales rarely share characters. The austere and subtle tone, despite the ordinary stories set in ordinary environments, feel like prayers. That's all for today's session. We shall be back with more information about another such interesting topic. See you soon.